Leighton Meester avoiding Blake Lively on the set of Gossip Girl was honestly the original tea everybody knew about. The two played best friends turned frenemies, Serena van der Woodsen and Blair Waldorf, for 6 seasons from 2007 to 2012, but reportedly skipped straight to the frenemies part in real life. New York Magazine reported in a 2008 article that Blake and Leighton avoided each other like the plague on set, and that the rest of the cast had to choose sides. Even Gossip Girl executive producer Joshua Safran confirmed it in a 2017 Vanity Fair interview, saying simply, Blake and Leighton were not friends.
I think I'm just brunette because of the books.
And everyone knows blondes are nicer anyway.
Joshua said Leighton was very removed and very quiet on set and would wander the stage after her scenes. Leighton went on to marry Adam Brody in 2014, have 2 kids, and live a famously private life. The two still don't follow each other on social media to this day. Brutal, but very Upper East Side energy.
Experts analyzing this right now. How quickly do you...
Anna Kendrick throwing shade at Blake Lively during the Another Simple Favor press tour was honestly the most viral celebrity moment of 2025. At the South by Southwest premiere on March 7th, 2025, an Entertainment Tonight reporter asked Anna, "What does it mean to be working with Blake again?" Anna's response? She walked past the reporter and just said, "Oh, you know, that's it."
Anna, what does it mean to be working with Blake again?
We've been talking about you all day.
Oh my God.
Blake, on the other hand, told the same reporter, "It's the best. I'm so happy to be here." The contrast was insane. Body language expert Judy James told the Daily Mail that during the press tour, Blake seems to be investing more when it comes to doing the heavy lifting of looking happy and amiable. Fans had been speculating Anna and Blake didn't get along since the original A Simple Favor in 2018, when their interviews felt cold. Director Paul Feig denied the rumors completely, but Anna's 3-word response said way more than any official statement ever could. Scarlett Johansson reportedly resenting Blake Lively goes back over a decade, and the timing tells the whole story. Scarlett was married to Ryan Reynolds from 2008 to 2010. Blake started filming Green Lantern with Ryan in 2010 while he was still legally married to Scarlett. Blake and Penn Badgley broke up in October 2010. Ryan and Scarlett officially announced their divorce in December 2010, just weeks later. The divorce was finalized in July 2011. Ryan and Blake started publicly dating in late 2011 and got married at Boone Hall Plantation in South Carolina in September 2012. The plantation wedding is now infamous on its own. A waitress reportedly told the Daily Mail that Blake and Ryan looked cozy on a date night in New York shortly after Scarlett's split. Ryan has always denied any overlap. But to this day, Scarlett and Blake have reportedly never appeared at the same event together, and Hollywood insiders have long whispered that Scarlett still holds a grudge. Petty? Maybe. Justified? Also maybe. Justin Baldoni is currently in a massive legal mess with Blake Lively, and the whole industry has chosen sides. Blake first filed a complaint with the California Civil Rights Department on December 21st, 2024, blaming Justin of inappropriate things on the set of It Ends With Us. She then filed a formal lawsuit on December 31st, 2024. Justin's lawyer Brian Friedman fired back, calling Blake's allegations completely false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious. Justin then countersued Blake and Ryan Reynolds for $400 million in January 2025. The lawsuits were consolidated. In June 2025, Justin's $400 million countersuit was dismissed by Judge Louis Lyman. In April 2026, a federal judge gutted much of Blake's case too, including the main claims. Blake and Justin reportedly reached a settlement on May 7, 2026, with terms undisclosed. And just days ago, in June 2026, Justin was ordered to pay Blake's attorney fees. The bad blood between them is undeniable. 2 careers, completely intertwined now in the worst way.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
Kirsty Flaw publicly calling out Blake Lively for being rude reignited the whole Blake is mean narrative in 2024. Kirsty is a Norwegian entertainment journalist who interviewed Blake back in 2016 for the film Cafe Society. In August 2024, during Blake's It Ends With Us press tour, Kirsty released the old interview footage on YouTube with the title "The Blake Lively Interview That Made Me Want to Quit My Job." The video went massively viral with millions of views. In the original footage, Blake repeatedly mocked Kirsty's questions and made fun of her about being pregnant, asking sarcastically if Kirsty was going to congratulate her too. Kirsty later told Business Insider she was the most wonderful person to interview, referring to Kristen Stewart, but said Blake left her feeling terrified about future interviews. After the resurfaced video, Blake's reputation took a massive hit publicly. People started calling out other Blake interviews and resurfacing every awkward moment she'd ever had. Kirsty basically lit the match that started the whole Blake Lively reputation collapse of 2024. Taylor Swift's decade-long friendship with Blake Lively reportedly halted in 2025, and the reason is wild. The two became close around 2014. Taylor is godmother to Blake and Ryan Reynolds' 4 kids, James, Inez, Betty, and Olin. But when Justin Baldoni's legal team subpoenaed Taylor on May 8, 2025, demanding messages between her lawyers and Blake's lawyers, things got complicated fast. The subpoena came after Justin's January 2025 lawsuit alleged Blake had referred to Taylor and Ryan as her dragons in text messages, comparing herself to Game of Thrones character Khaleesi. A source close to Taylor told People, their friendship has halted. Taylor wants no part in this drama. Justin's team eventually withdrew the subpoena, but the damage was done. Taylor's spokesperson called the subpoena an attempt to make tabloid clickbait. Reports also claimed Gigi Hadid had distanced herself from Blake at the same time, siding with Taylor. Blake's whole celebrity circle reportedly shrank overnight. Even her closest friends needed to protect themselves from the legal chaos surrounding her.
You know, you can look me up sometime or...
Well, I gotta,
Yeah.
I'm working, so.
Brandon Sklenar going from publicly defending Blake Lively to mysteriously distancing himself from her is honestly the plot twist nobody saw coming. Brandon, 35, played Blake's love interest Atlas Corrigan in It Ends With Us. He famously posted Blake's lawsuit to his Instagram story on December 23, 2024, captioning it, "For the love of God, read this," with a red heart for Blake. He went viral for openly supporting her against Justin Baldoni. Then in mid-2025, something shifted. When reporters asked Brandon if he was Team Blake or Team Justin at events, he started giving completely neutral responses. He famously said he was just Team It Ends With Us. That's a polite way of saying, I don't want to be involved anymore. He's been spotted at events in Switzerland and across Europe, basically avoiding the whole American press cycle that keeps asking about Blake. Brandon went from being one of Blake's most vocal defenders to publicly avoiding the topic completely. Hollywood friendships, as we keep learning, age like milk under public pressure. Colleen Hoover quietly distancing herself from Blake Lively is honestly one of the most telling moves in this entire saga. Colleen is the author of the best-selling novel It Ends With Us, which Blake's film was based on. When the book hit Blake's movie pipeline, Colleen was Blake's biggest cheerleader, attending premieres with her, doing joint interviews, and gushing on social media. After Blake filed her December 2024 lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, Colleen initially backed Blake hard, posting on Instagram that she stood with her. But here's where things got interesting. As the lawsuit dragged on through 2025, Colleen quietly deleted those Instagram posts defending Blake. She also stopped publicly mentioning Blake at any of her own events. By the time Justin's counter lawsuit dropped, Colleen had basically gone completely silent. She has not commented on Blake or the case since. For a writer who built her entire literary brand around female loyalty and friendship, silently walking away from Blake mid-lawsuit said way more than any statement ever could. Receipts disappeared, loyalty disappeared.
I keep looking around going, remember these moments. These are the moments at the end of your life where you're going to look back and say, wow.
Blake Lively was once Hollywood's golden girl long before she became one of its biggest villains. So what happened here? Okay, so Blake Lively, she was actually born into the industry. Her dad, Ernie, was a working actor, and her mom managed talent, and her sister, Robin, was already famous from Teen Witch. It was actually her brother, Eric, who pushed her to audition one summer, and then boom, she landed Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants in 2005. And then fast forward 2 years later, Gossip Girl turned her into Serena van der Woodsen, and honestly, she became untouchable. Everybody was talking about Blake Lively. Personally, I loved her in the movie Age of Adeline, and I thought that she was going to be Hollywood's golden girl for the longest time. Nope. But when you look back at when she started really taking off in Hollywood, at the late 2000s, early 2010s, she was basically engineered for fame. One of the shadiest details, though, about Blake Lively is that when she started dating Ryan Reynolds, he was still married.
Right here. Like, straight ahead, please. For the ladies, right here. Look right.
So Ryan Reynolds came into the picture in 2010, and the timeline is really messy, guys. So they met while filming Green Lantern. But the tiny problem is that Ryan was still married to Scarlett Johansson at the time, and Blake was dating her Gossip Girl co-star Penn Badgley. By October of that year, Blake and Penn, they were done, their relationship had ended, and in December, Ryan and Scarlett broke up. And then in August of 2011, Blake and Ryan went public. And in September of 2012, they got married at Boone Hall Plantation. So connect the dots here. Both have always denied any type of overlap though, but come on, like the receipts read suspiciously here. Together they built Hollywood's most marketable couple. They had 4 kids, they had witty Instagram roasts, and this whole fake feud brand. The internet really ate it up for over a decade. Blake's whole drama didn't start with "this ends with us" in 2024. Blake actually faced a lot of backlash for her wedding at a plantation. So her and Ryan Reynolds got married at Boone Hall, and it's literally a plantation with 9 preserved enslaved people cabins still standing on the property. Ryan himself later called the wedding venue a giant effing mistake. And that was during a 2020 Fast Company interview. Then following that whole fiasco, in 2014 came Preserve, which was a Goop wannabe lifestyle brand featuring an allure of antebellum photo shoot, romanticizing the Old South with zero acknowledgement of, the history of it all. The brand completely flopped within a year, and former employees later claimed that she ran the whole thing out of her brother's Manhattan apartment with no HR, and that she reported no NDA payouts. Now, Ryan's public appearance and his charm that he has with the crowd, as well as their flawless red carpet appearances, it kept the critics pretty quiet, but the cracks were always there when it came to Blake Lively and her reputation. 2024 was a bad year for Blake Lively.
Hey, Lily, you want to do the honors?
No, you go ahead. I need to take it in from here.
In August of that year, it's when Blake's entire empire publicly fell apart. And honestly, she did most of the damage herself. So it ends with us, the Colleen Hoover novel adaptation about a difficult marriage, finally hit theaters. And Blake's response, well, refusing to even say the heavy stuff on camera, telling fans to grab your friends, wear your florals, and using the press tour to really push her own hair care brand. She promoted her brand, Blake Brown, and her drink line, Betty Buzz. Audiences called it wildly tone deaf, and director Justin Baldoni got completely iced out. No joint promo, no premiere screenings. The whole cast unfollowed him on Instagram, and the Norwegian journalist Kirsty Fla, well, she dropped an old 2016 interview clip of Blake Lively sarcastically congratulating her on her non-existent baby bump. Yeah, that got millions of views.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
And people were furious with Blake Lively. And that's when things really started to go downhill. And that's when people started to really see, wow, maybe she's been a mean girl this whole time and just completely tone deaf. And maybe she's doing her best to turn people against other people. December of 2024 was wild for Blake Lively. That's when she filed a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, and oh boy, did it backfire completely. So Justin countersued for $400 million. Then fast forward to January 2026, there's a whole bunch of texts that got unsealed, and the chaos was unmatched. Blake had literally called herself Khaleesi with her dragons, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift, referring to them, basically using Taylor's fame as leverage in her drama.
It's a significant responsibility. How we use that matters. Who and what we stand up for.
And Ryan called Justin Baldoni a predator fraudster and a toxic mess. Sony executives privately labeled Blake an effing extremist and said that her Blake Brown launch timing was epic level stupid. And Taylor Swift was reportedly very furious about being pulled into her whole drama with Justin Baldoni. And she didn't like to be used or viewed by Blake Lively in that way. She's like, listen, I'm Taylor Swift. What you mean I'm in your corner? No, girl, you in my corner.
Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni have settled a lawsuit after a 2-year legal battle.
By April of 2026, the judge did toss out 10 of Blake's 13 claims against Justin Baldoni. So yeah, the narrative definitely completely flipped overnight. Since Blake Lively's whole drama with Justin Baldoni, her comeback to Hollywood has completely flopped. Like, she is not back. She probably never will get back to where she ever was. Her hair care brand sales have completely flopped. As a matter of fact, they dropped, I think, as high as 87%, or I should say as low as 87% at Target during the worst of all the backlash that was going on with her and the whole beef with Justin Baldoni. And Taylor Swift has also reportedly ended her friendship with Blake Lively forever. She wants nothing to do with her. Justin Baldoni also, he is allegedly shopping a tell-all book. And here's the wildest part. Blake Lively didn't get an NDA on the whole settlement thing with Justin Baldoni, meaning that he can legally spill everything whenever he feels like it. And even after she settled things with Justin Baldoni in court, she still went back to court and is demanding him to pay her. She wants payment for damages. So will Blake Lively ever be the same again after this? Well, she's lost a lot of fans, so I definitely don't think so.
Blake Lively is losing all her rich friends.
Fans are speculating about Blake Lively and Gigi Hadid's friendship after Lively skipped Hadid's 30th birthday celebration.
Katy Perry lived out her E.T. fantasy, and Gayle King and Lauren Sanchez were along for the wild ride on the Blue Origin spaceflight.
Blake Lively may be finding herself on the outs with her A-list circle, and the clearest sign yet, she was noticeably absent from Gigi Hadid's ultra-exclusive 30th birthday bash.
Blake Lively and Gigi Hadid's friendship status was questioned after the actress skipped the model's star-studded 30th birthday party last week.
Despite showing up at the Time 100 gala the night before, Blake was nowhere to be seen at Le Chalet in NYC, where Gigi celebrated with stars like Zoe Kravitz, Anne Hathaway, and even Taylor Swift. Yes, the same Swift who's reportedly being dragged into Blake's feud with Justin Baldoni.
Blake Lively dragging the pop star into her ongoing legal battle with Justin Baldoni.
Former entertainment reporter Kirsty Flaw didn't hold back on her podcast, speculating that Blake's absence may have been less about scheduling and more about subpoenas.
Weird that you don't show up in one of your best friend's 30th birthday party.
Fella AA even hinted Gigi and her beau Bradley Cooper might be distancing themselves before things get messier. Ever since Blake sued Justin for things he's fiercely denied, she's been caught in a lot of drama that now threatens her closest friendships. It doesn't help that her friendship with Gigi reportedly started through Swift, who's now entangled in the drama herself. Between the suit, the possible subpoenas, and this friendship fallout, Blake's glamorous inner circle might be starting to crack. Meghan Markle's hypocrisy exposed. Meghan Markle is once again in some drama. And this time, critics say she's exposing her own hypocrisy. After stepping down as a senior royal in 2020, Meghan and Prince Harry publicly pledged not to use their His/Her Royal Highness titles. This was part of the deal agreed upon during the infamous Sandringham Summit, when Queen Elizabeth, Prince Charles, and Prince William met with the couple to hash out their royal exit. At the time, the Sussexes made it clear they would retain the HRH status in name, but wouldn't actively use it. But now, Meghan has seemingly broken that agreement. In a resurfaced image, she's seen sending a gift basket to podcast host Jamie Kern-Lima, complete with a note signed, with compliments of HRH, the Duchess of Sussex. That small detail ignited a wild series of events. Social media users went after Meghan for flaunting a title she vowed not to use, especially after repeatedly criticizing the royal family. Critics argue it's tone-deaf at best and calculating at worst, using the royal name when convenient. One user summed up the backlash. You can't trash the monarchy and then market yourself with its titles. Pick a lane. Katy Perry has had enough. Katy Perry is done playing nice, and she's not afraid to say it. The pop icon finally broke her silence after catching major heat for her Blue Origin spaceflight and sci-fi themed Lifetimes tour. And let's just say she had time. In a raw Instagram comment on a fan page, Perry, 40, opened up about the online hate, writing, "Please know I am okay. I have done a lot of work around knowing who I am, what is real, and what is important to me." She even recalled advice from her therapist. No one can make you believe something about yourself that you don't already believe about yourself. Preach. Katy admitted she's no stranger to being the internet's human piñata, but says she chooses to respond with grace. Despite harsh backlash, including criticism from stars like Emily Ratajkowski and Olivia Munn, Perry says performing live is what grounds her. "I keep looking to the light," she said, "and in that light, a new level unlocks." For Katy, the hate won't stop the music or her mission. After all, she's not aiming for perfection anymore. She's aiming for progress. Bill Belichick's girlfriend wore a ring on her middle finger. Jordan Hudson is keeping fans and the paparazzi guessing, especially with that ring. The 24-year-old girlfriend of legendary NFL coach Bill Belichick turned heads when she was spotted rocking a sparkly ring on that finger, but with a twist. The bling was on her middle finger, not her ring finger, at a luncheon at the American Museum of Natural History in New York City. Page 6 caught the moment and didn't miss the side-eye-worthy detail. Hudson, dressed in a sleek blue ensemble, seemed completely tuned into her 73-year-old boyfriend, while Belichick was scrolling on his phone. One eyewitness even dished that Hudson kept her hand on his knee, as if to keep him engaged. Sounds like someone's making sure the game plan stays on track. The couple first sparked engagement rumors back in February of 2025, when Hudson wore a diamond ring on her wedding finger at the NFL Honors. Though she's now moved the ring over, fans still aren't sure if it's a red herring or a strategic move to dodge more speculation. Given Hudson's history of shutting down press and storming off Belichick's recent CBS interview set, we're not expecting a comment anytime soon. How Britney Spears lost her money. Britney Spears may still be worth around $40 million, but insiders say her fortune is shrinking fast. And it's not hard to see why. After spending nearly 14 years under a conservatorship led by her father, Jamie Spears, Britney claims she lost around $36 million, with a chunk reportedly going to fund his personal issues and failed TV ventures. Even after gaining her freedom, she was forced to cover $2 million in his bills. Now, finally in control, Britney's making up for lost time and money. Sources say she's been splurging wildly, throwing lavish birthday parties, and ignoring advice from her financial managers. She has no concept of money, one insider told Page 6, adding that no one wants to be the next Jamie by confronting her. She's already burned through a portion of her memoir bonus, and her team fears the spending won't stop. Still, Britney's got options. If she chooses to perform or release new music, she could rake in millions. But for now, it seems she's more focused on being free than being rich. Whether that choice will cost her long-term is the million-dollar question. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds found out in public after another Justin Baldoni leak. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were spotted putting on a united front in New York City. But the smiles might be doing a bit more work than usual. Just days after Marvel asked to be removed from Justin Baldoni's feud with the couple, Blake and Ryan were photographed hand in hand, brushing off the latest news with practiced ease. The timing couldn't be more obvious. As Marvel seeks to quash the subpoena over Ryan's Nice Pool character in Deadpool and Wolverine, Blake's looking to keep the spotlight on her new film Another Simple Favor, not her courtroom drama. While Blake was out promoting her movie with everything from a pizza-themed purse to a PDA-packed red carpet with Reynolds, fans weren't buying the curated perfection. A red carpet moment with Anna Kendrick reignited feud rumors, and a makeup mishap had social media taking jabs. But perhaps the biggest takeaway? As Blake cools off the heat, PR stumbles, and public shade from people like Megyn Kelly, She's clearly trying to keep the narrative cute. Whether it's working or not is another story. Because right now, no amount of glamour or giggles is fully masking the clouds circling Blake's polished Hollywood bubble. Celebrities who are no longer friends with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds has a complicated relationship with Jake Gyllenhaal. The Life set was a pressure cooker environment. Apparently, they did not get along. There was a ton of rivalry there. But let's go deeper. What kind of competition are we talking about? Was it a subtle game of one-upmanship? Were there unwanted remarks during takes? Or was it something more overt, a clash of personalities that escalated? The drama between Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal, reportedly ignited during the filming of Life, likely stemmed from a complex interplay of professional ambition and personal dynamics. Who really is better, Ryan Reynolds or Jake Gyllenhaal? Two highly skilled actors, each with a distinct style and a proven track record, confined to a high-pressure environment. The competitive nature of the film industry, where roles and accolades are fiercely contested, could easily have seeped into Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal's on-set interactions. Was it a game of one-upmanship, with each actor striving to outshine the other? Did the intensity of the film's subject matter, exploring themes of survival and ambition, amplify their own competitive instincts? Perhaps it wasn't a direct clash of personalities, but rather a silent battle for recognition, a subconscious struggle to assert dominance in a shared creative space. The rumors of Jake's increased competitiveness for roles could indicate a perceived imbalance of power, a feeling of being overshadowed. Conversely, Ryan's established success might have inadvertently created an environment of unspoken tension, fueling Jake's drive to prove himself. The alleged deflection of blame during the Rebecca Ferguson incident further suggests a breakdown of trust, a sign that the professional rivalry had escalated into personal animosity. Ultimately, the true nature of their drama remains shrouded in speculation, but the potential for a clash of egos, fueled by ambition and insecurity, is undeniable. Think about the psychology of actors. They're often driven by a desire for validation, for recognition. And when you put two highly talented individuals in the same space, that drive can become a source of conflict. Was Jake's ambition perceived as a threat by Ryan? Did Ryan's established success create a sense of resentment in Jake? These are the questions that fuel the gossip mill. And then there's the Rebecca Ferguson incident. The power dynamics on a film set are incredibly complex, and any perceived abuse of power can have lasting consequences. If Ryan did indeed try to deflect blame, it suggests a willingness to prioritize his own image over the well-being of a colleague. That's a serious accusation, and it raises questions about his character, his integrity. Let's turn our attention to Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick. The A Simple Favor dynamic is particularly intriguing because it involves two actresses with distinct personalities. Anna's candidness, her willingness to challenge the status quo, can be refreshing or off-putting. Was her perceived competitiveness a form of self-preservation, a way to assert her own value in an industry that often prioritizes image over substance? And those comments about Blake's figure, they're not just superficial. They're a reflection of the intense pressure women face in Hollywood, the constant scrutiny, the relentless comparisons, the impossible standards of beauty. It's a battleground, and even the most confident individuals can feel vulnerable. Morena Baccarin's exclusion from the Deadpool universe is another layer of intrigue. The blind item, the seemingly innocuous remark about the smooching scene, they're like puzzle pieces, hinting at a much larger picture. Was it a professional disagreement? A clash of creative visions? Or was it something more personal? A conflict that transcended the boundaries of the set? The Deadpool franchise is a massive undertaking, a multi-million-dollar enterprise. Any disruption can have significant consequences, not just for the actors involved, but for the entire production. It's a reminder that even the most successful projects can be derailed by interpersonal conflicts. But the real focal point, the epicenter of this Hollywood earthquake, is the rumored rift between Blake Lively and Taylor Swift. This is a friendship that seemed unbreakable, a bond built on mutual respect and admiration. The It Ends With Us lawsuit has exposed the fragility of that bond, revealing the fault lines beneath the surface. Taylor Swift, the master strategist, the architect of her own narrative, felt used. And in Hollywood, where alliances are currency, that's a dangerous feeling. The Super Bowl absence, the reported avoidance, they're not just social snubs, they're strategic moves, calculated to send a message. And that message is clear. Taylor is distancing herself, protecting her own interests. The implications of this fallout are far-reaching. Taylor's fan base, the Swifties, are a force to be reckoned with. They're fiercely loyal, and any perceived slight against their idol is met with swift and unwavering condemnation. Blake Lively, caught in the drama, must be feeling the weight of that condemnation. So, what does this mean for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds? Are they becoming Hollywood outcasts? Are they losing their grip on their carefully constructed image? The rumors are casting a long shadow, and the whispers are growing louder. They're a power couple, yes, but even power couples are vulnerable to the whims of public opinion. In Hollywood, perception is reality. And right now, the perception is that their friendships are crumbling, their alliances are fracturing. This can have a ripple effect, impacting their careers, their reputations, and their social standing. The entertainment industry is a fickle beast, and once the whispers start, they can be hard to silence. Insiders have been whispering that Taylor was already feeling a bit tired of Blake's antics before this whole blow-up. Apparently, Taylor had been trying to tone down Blake's outspoken personality for years, but it seems like that just wasn't working out. Sources claim Taylor felt used as a pawn in their high-stakes game, and that's when she decided to take a step back from the friendship. It's not just about the drama. Taylor's been reassessing her friendships to protect her own reputation. She's reportedly stopped communicating with Blake altogether, even skipping the SNL 50th anniversary special, where Blake was set to appear. It's a sad end to a decade-long friendship that once seemed unbreakable. Fans are still holding out hope for a reconciliation, but for now, it looks like these two superstars are going their separate ways. And can you blame Taylor? Blake seems like she could be shady. People are speculating about potential cracks in Blake and Ryan's marriage. Sources close to the couple reveal that the stress of the lawsuit has completely consumed their lives, putting unprecedented strain on their relationship. The $400 million defamation countersuit, filed by Justin, has reportedly left the couple feeling overwhelmed and unprepared for the legal response. This unexpected turn of events has forced Ryan to become more involved in the legal proceedings, potentially causing drama between him and Blake. Insiders suggest that the couple's differing approaches to handling the situation may be driving a wedge between them. While Blake remains determined to fight the allegations, Ryan is said to be more concerned about the impact on their family and public image. This could be causing friction in their once solid partnership. The couple's decision to skip the 2025 Met Gala, an event Blake has regularly attended in the past, has raised eyebrows. While sources claim this isn't related to the lawsuit, some speculate it could be a sign of the couple's desire to avoid public scrutiny during this difficult time. As the legal drama unfolds, friends worry that the constant drama and media attention might push Blake and Ryan to their breaking point. The couple, known for their strong bond and playful social media presence, have been noticeably quieter online, fueling rumors of drama in paradise. While it's important to note that these are merely speculations, the intensity of the legal battle and its impact on their personal lives have left many wondering if Blake and Ryan's relationship can withstand the pressure. For Blake, a successful outcome would mean vindication and closure, allowing her to move forward with her career and personal life without the shadow of this drama. Her courage in speaking out against alleged misconduct has already sparked important conversations about workplace safety and accountability. For Justin, proving his innocence and clearing his name would be a significant victory, potentially restoring his reputation as a director and advocate for women's rights. His determination to see this through to court demonstrates his commitment to his integrity and career. As for Ryan, supporting his wife through this time while maintaining his own professional standing is crucial. His involvement in the legal proceedings highlights the complexities of being a supportive partner in the public eye. Let's not forget the power of redemption. Hollywood loves a comeback story, a narrative of resilience and redemption. Can Blake and Ryan mend these fences? Can they rebuild their alliances? It's possible, but it will require careful navigation, strategic damage control, and, perhaps, a public display of reconciliation. And what about the rest of us, the viewers, the gossip enthusiasts? We're left to speculate, to analyze every word, every gesture, every absence. We dissect their social media, we pore over paparazzi photos, searching for clues, for hints of the truth. We want to believe that even the most perfect lives have cracks, that even the most powerful people are vulnerable. Because in the end, that's what we crave. The drama, the intrigue, the glimpse behind the curtain. We want to see the human side of these seemingly untouchable figures, the messy relationships, the flawed dynamics. It's a reminder that we're all human, that we all have our struggles, our imperfections.
Secret details about Blake Lively that were hidden from the public.
Blake, can you say hi to Stephanie? It's my girlfriend.
Hi, Stephanie.
Thank you
You
so
should
much.
leave him.
Blake Lively comparing herself to the heroine of Game of Thrones, Khaleesi.
She's not always the sweetheart with fans. You'd expect anyone who's scrolled social media long enough has run across both heartfelt and downright cringy Blake Lively fan stories.
What does that mean?
The star can be unbelievably charming one moment, like at that 2023 Wrexham game when a fan asked for a video message for his girlfriend Stephanie, and Blake quipped, "You should leave him."
Blake Lively playfully trolls a fan.
I just like to have fun.
Blake, can you say hi to Stephanie? It's my girlfriend.
Hi, Stephanie.
Thank you
You
so
should
much.
leave him.
Everyone, including Stephanie, found it hilarious. The girlfriend later gushed in the Daily Mail that she was just crying from excitement. It was the perfect example of Blake's playful wit, and fans ate it up.
Blake Lively is getting the backlash of her life as many past and hidden secrets of her meanness are exposed.
Yet the same fan lady of the people vibe took a nosedive at the 2024 London screening of It Ends With Us. As seen in a French Alicine video that quickly went viral, Blake was handed a pink friendship bracelet, reportedly inspired by Taylor Swift's Eras Tour tradition, only to have her underwhelm the giver. While co-star Isabella Ferrer happily donned her own identical bracelet, Blake basically said, "I'm gonna put it here because it doesn't go with my outfit, but I will wear it later." The net result? Her words sounded more like a dismissive brush-off than a sincere thank you. Many fans hopped on TikTok to call it a small but telling sign of Blake's alleged aloofness. After all, it's a fan gift. Would it take so much for her to slip it on for a second? Or at least fake a bigger smile? Swifties, in particular, found it jarring that Blake didn't show more gratitude. For some, it reinforced the idea that she can turn her charm on or off depending on the moment. In short, dealing with Blake as a fan can be a total gamble. She allegedly called herself a ballbuster in secret texts. The behind-the-scenes drama on It Ends With Us lit up Hollywood gossip columns, and part of the reason was a wave of alleged text messages that came to light in Justin Baldoni's $400 million countersuit. One set in particular had jaws dropping. Blake reportedly described her approach to some scenes as flirty and yummy, and confessed, "I'm a ballbuster, it's my love language." If you blinked and missed it, yes, that's the same star who's often typecast as the breezy, sunshiny sweetheart. But from these texts, it sounds like she was more than willing to push boundaries on set, or at least talk big about it in private convos. Critics pointed to these lines to argue that Blake might relish taking charge in ways that overshadow a director's or co-star's comfort. Meanwhile, fans who've always adored her read them as playful banter. Still, it was enough to stoke the rumor mill about how she interacts with male colleagues. Did Justin Baldoni find it endearing or borderline manipulative? The man obviously felt offended enough to compile these receipts in his suit. The entire fiasco not only tarnished some folks' squeaky clean image of Blake, but also painted her as someone who might enjoy challenging people around her. She compared herself to Khaleesi in more alleged chats. As if calling herself a ballbuster wasn't enough, Blake evidently told Justin that she was basically Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, with Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift as her dragons. Wait, what? In the docs, Justin alleges that Blake bragged about having these mega celebs as protector dragons, implying that messing with her also means messing with Taylor Swift or Ryan Reynolds. She allegedly said something like, "I happen to have a few dragons, for better or worse, but usually for better." Apparently, she's queen of her domain, and those who cross her, like, say, a certain co-star director, do so at their own risk. Fans swiftly joked about the Mother of Dragons reference, but for Justin, it came off as a straight-up threat that she wields enormous star power. If it's true, it's a jarring peek at Blake's behind-the-scenes swagger. Maybe it's an in-joke. Maybe she wasn't being that serious. But from Justin's vantage point, it sounded downright intimidating. After all, Taylor Swift basically runs the pop world, and Ryan Reynolds is now a Hollywood business powerhouse. So if Blake's calling them her dragons, the message is, I can call on powerful friends to tilt public sentiment anytime I want. Regardless, it's not the kind of text you'd expect from the sweet-faced star who typically radiates warmth on talk shows. She's avoided magazine covers out of shyness. One of the more surprising tidbits about Blake is that she's apparently camera shy, at least when she's not acting. A-lister who starred in major films and served iconic red carpet looks, yet she claims to hate being the focus of magazine shoots. In a 24 Vogue interview, Blake explained how she went 4 years without doing a cover because, as she put it, I don't feel super comfortable in front of a camera. She said it stems from a more private side that she's rarely shown publicly, and that once she became a mother, she valued her privacy even more. It's a stark contrast to the energy she exudes while playing glammed-up characters in front of paparazzi. But apparently, the second it's just Blake Lively on a magazine spread, no character to hide behind, her confidence evaporates. Fans found it refreshing, hearing that the poised star is actually shy deep down. Of course, cynics say, but she's done 1 million public events. But Blake draws a line between acting in a role versus basically modeling as herself. She's also spoken about how she can be outgoing but very private, an odd pairing that's typical for Hollywood types who love the craft but hate the intrusion. It's a reminder that some big names aren't as comfortable in their own skin as we assume. She's an under-the-radar script doctor. One of the lesser-known facts is that Blake secretly contributes writing to many of the films she's in. She once told Vogue how she's always scribbling on scripts. A blank page isn't nearly as exciting as starting with a script and seeing what people overlooked, she said. Apparently, she loves rewriting dialogue, fine-tuning character arcs, and punching up comedy beats. More ironically, Ryan Reynolds once told SiriusXM that half the A++ lines he's credited for in Deadpool actually came from Blake. He confessed that favoritism in the industry often erases her contribution because people assume the star actor wrote it. He publicly tried to correct them, saying, "That was Blake, not me." And it's not just her husband's flicks. Paul Feig, who directed her in A Simple Favor, confirmed that she reworked her lines to fit her edgy character. She rarely gets official writing credit, though, which means a chunk of her labor is invisible. Her fans love hearing about this behind-the-scenes hustle, pointing out that she's more than just a pretty face. But haters question whether it's meddling that rubs coworkers the wrong way. Considering the fiasco with Justin Baldoni, maybe that's exactly the kind of rewriting that caused friction. Either way, it's interesting to see that Blake might be the uncredited writer behind some of your favorite comedic bits. Celebrity moms. Praise her parenting. At the complete opposite side of the drama spectrum is Blake's reputation as a rock star mom. While fans often tear her apart for other controversies, we keep hearing from colleagues about how dedicated she is to her brood. Colleen Hoover, the It Ends With Us author, revealed that while Blake took the role of Lily in the film adaptation, she was simultaneously super involved with her kids, never letting the shoot overshadow her mom duties. She could be on a call with the Pope, and if her kid walks in, that's who gets her focus, Colleen told Vogue. Similarly, Paul Feig from A Simple Favor described Blake's rock-solid pro approach on set, but that once shooting wrapped for the day, she'd pivot to full-on parenting mode. Even Caitlin Olsen, who's in the Reynolds-Blake friend circle, hopped on social media to declare, @BlakeBlake is a kind, lovely, honest, and generous person, and an incredible mom. It seems that no matter how messy her rumored behind-the-scenes battles might get, the one aspect everyone respects is her devotion to her kids. She totally won over Colleen Hoover. Given the Justin Baldoni fiasco swirling around the It Ends With Us adaptation, you might expect the film's original author, Colleen Hoover, to keep a safe distance from Blake. But no, Hoover's fangirling is real. She told The Hollywood Reporter she was thrilled to have Blake cast. She also described how Blake's portrayal of Lily exceeded her wildest expectations, going so far as to say the actress elevated the character in ways she, as the writer, hadn't even imagined. In People, Hoover doubled down, praising Blake's nuance and expressing sadness over the set drama overshadowing the beautiful, amazing job Blake did. When the allegations came out, Hoover posted an Instagram story basically telling Blake, "Don't ever stop being who you are," a statement that many saw as a subtle way of picking sides. Considering Hoover's massive fan base, having her publicly champion Blake is significant. It's turned some skeptics into defenders, claiming that if the actual author calls Blake's portrayal groundbreaking, maybe she's not the self-absorbed monster some say. Then again, it's also possible the author just cherishes Blake's star power. Regardless, we can see Blake forged a real bond with the novel's creator, and that Hoover's not shy about praising her actress buddy. Hugh Jackman sees two sides. Pajamas at home, Elizabeth Taylor on set. If there's one star who can speak to the contrast between Blake's everyday persona and her glamorous red carpet vibe, it's Hugh Jackman. He spent hours in casual PJs at the Reynolds-Blake household, apparently playing with the kids or chatting over homemade pizza, only to see Blake do a total 180 5 minutes later. One moment, she's a normal mom in sweats. The next, she's gliding into a photo shoot like an old-school Hollywood goddess. Jackman told Vogue it reminds him of Nicole Kidman, these shy Aussie types who can flip a switch and become superstars. Jackman even labeled the transformation Elizabeth Taylor level, which is an insane compliment. The Aussie star has known them long enough to see that Blake's domestic reality is super chill, but the second she's in front of that camera, she's unstoppable. Jackman also hinted that maybe part of Blake's secret sauce is that innate shyness. She's always toggling between the personal and the public. 1 minute rocking pajamas, the next playing a glam heist criminal in a Baz Luhrmann short. Indeed, if you believe Jackman, Blake's best trick might be harnessing that shy part of herself and channeling it into star power whenever she needs it. What do you guys think of Blake Lively? Let me know in the comments, and I hope you have a great day!